What's going on, YouTube? It's James again. Uh, Want to talk about the Scuf Envision Pro PC controller that I just picked up. If you don't know, I've been playing mouse for about 3 years now. When I came to PC, I just moved from controller and just focused on mouse, thinking like that was the best input, and it still is. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a bad input. I mean, it is, but I mean, like on Destiny, for example, like I'm playing Destiny right now. I mean, definitely, I think PC, I mean, mouse is better, and I think mouse is better in any game that has PVE content. But when it comes to PvP, and if a controller is allowed, you're gonna want to play controller. Right now, just the way that every developer is just making controllers very strong. Um, Not that you can't compete against them. Obviously, people do still compete that are on mouse, but why not? And I've just kind of been feeling stagnant, I guess. Haven't really been playing anything, and like competitive anyway. I've always played on mouse. But I was like, oh, I kind of want to go back to controller, because I've been thinking also I might go back to console. So, um, because I've been thinking about going back to console. I was like, well, let me, start playing on controller. So I started playing on controller again, and I was playing with my Elite Series 2, which is a great controller. But I get weird and I have preferences sometimes. So I had a preference of I wanted to have symmetrical thumbsticks because I play claw, and it just felt it's easier on my left hand to come down and hit the thumbstick. I mean the D-pad versus having to take my finger off the thumbstick and coming down, my thumb off the thumbstick and coming down to the D-pad. Um, yeah, and because I had played on PlayStation before a while, and I was using a PlayStation 4 controller, and when I played Claw, I remember that I liked doing that because I could claw the D-pad if I needed to, and a lot of games now use the D-pad, to so um it just makes and especially like in Warzone and stuff like that, opening up your your backpack without having to take off your thumb makes it a lot easier. And then I eventually learned how to do it. I would just put my pointer on the thumbstick and then just move my thumb down to the D-pad, so I can still move around and whatnot. Um, but yeah, and I just like getting new things and trying new things out and whatnot. So yeah, and I was debating on, well, if I was gonna stay on PC, that maybe I needed to get a foot pedal so that I can mute things. And if I was, well, not even just because if I was going to stay on PC, but if I was going to stream, I could have a foot pedal for muting in-game chat and discords and stuff like that, while still using the same mic, Um, and so I was looking at getting a foot pedal, and then I wanted a new controller, and I wanted smart triggers, which is like a mouse click instead of a short pull like the Elite series has. It's just a short pull. Um, but um, and I wanted mouse clicks on the face button and whatnot, and mouse clicks on the triggers. So that was another reason what got me um, why I chose this. I know a lot of people say that, oh, Scuff's trash and whatnot. I've had Scuffs my whole gaming career. I was on a Scuff 2 paddle on 360, and then I moved to Claw whenever Xbox One came out because I knew that nobody was going to be making game pads with paddles on the back of them. It would just be too new, to do that. To know. Um, yeah, see, I cannot aim. They have no aim assist on those little things, like rarely, so it's hard to aim. But anywho, so I learned how to play Claw. So I can use pretty much any controller, but I would have preferences. Like I want the mouse clicks. I think they feel better. Um, Honestly, I'd rather have the PlayStation buttons as well because they're flat. They're not rounded. They feel better when you're playing claw, for me at least. Um, but yeah. So that's reason why I chose this, and because it has the G pad G1 buttons, which is like a foot pedal. So that's why I decided to go with the Scuf Envision, is because of it had everything that I wanted on it, and wasn't it's pretty cheap. I'm not like picky. I don't need to have like a sweet ass faceplate. I don't need to have a cool paint job and all that shit. No one's ever gonna see my controller. But I need it to feel. I like to have long thumbsticks on the right side because of playing claw. For me, at least, my hands don't feel as cramped, and it does help with aiming. Um, um, Things like that. So, and this has long thumbsticks. Well, not really long. They're medium. But then they have their add-ons if you can put onto it. Like it's like a control free you can put on it, that clips on, which is actually pretty cool. Because you don't have to have a certain one for an Xbox or a PlayStation. You can use the same the control freak or the add-on, the thumbstick add-on for either one, because the way they've designed it, it has a split in it, so it'll fit on smaller ones and bigger ones, and the the cap that goes on top of the ring um, fits perfectly on everything. So they did design that pretty well. You can't hate on them for that. Even if you hate Scuf, you can't. They did a good job. Oh shit. Let me kill this fucker. So yeah, you can't hate on them for that. They did do a good job on that. But anyway, so let's talk about the Scuf. So first thing, I got it, played with it for about a couple days. I was gonna say a week, might have been a week, but I don't think it was even a week. I think it was just a couple of days. I might have had it a week, but I only played for a couple of days. It felt good, and I was like, yeah, this good. This controller feels real good. Um, and then I was playing Call of Duty, and like I said, everything felt fine. And then I switched over. I don't know what I'm picking these up for. Hold on. I switched over and to Destiny, and I felt like something was off with my aiming. And I'm already bad aimer. I mean, I ain't no pro controller. I'm not pro in anything, but controller is a skill, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's an aiming skill, bro. It's an aiming skill. Um, but I was like, man, what's wrong with me? Like, why does it feel weird? I was like, I didn't feel like this in Call of Duty. Um, so it felt weird, And so then I started, slowly checking everything out. And then I noticed that I had slow turn on my thumbstick, on my right thumbstick, when I went to the left, and I was like, what the hell? How do I have slow turn on this thing? You know? And I was also under the impression, I was like, how do I have slow turn? It has Hall effect. I guess you can have slow turn on Hall effect, but then I come to find out I didn't. I don't know why I got things mixed up. It does not have Hall effect. It still has potentiometer, which is not a problem. They have the really good potentiometer thumbsticks. Um, but hold on a second. They have really good potentiometer thumbsticks. But I was like, either way, it's brand new controller. Why am I getting slow turn, right? So, one cool feature on here that they have is a magnetic faceplate. So you can pop the faceplate off. You can swap the faceplate out, and um, if you change, take it off, paint it, whatever you want to do, or go buy their own and just swap it out. It's just got magnets. It's easy, right? So I took off the faceplate, and I started playing without the faceplate, and I was like, I'm not getting slow turn without the faceplate. So I was like, it's gotta be the faceplate. So I, hit up Scuf, and I was like, hey, got slow turn on the left. Right now I'm only feeling it in one game, Destiny, but I feel it mostly because of the way they have their sensitivity in the game. So I knew something was, I knew it was weird. But anyway, so I was like, hey, just send me a new faceplate and I'll send you back this one. And they were like, no, it's in the whole controller. So sent them the controller, a couple weeks, then they sent it back to me, and it's fine. Don't know if it was the faceplate. Could have been the faceplate. Maybe because they sent me a brand new controller, so I don't even know if it was the faceplate. It might have been the stick off centered. So I don't know, but got a new one, and I haven't had any issues with the controller. Now, what I have had problems with is the software. Now, the software, yeah, the software has to be running in the background. It does. You cannot save your profiles onto the controller. If there is a way to save them, then I don't know how to do that. And please let me know in the comments if you know how to save them to the controller. But I don't think you can. So I'll tell you what happened. So, well, okay. So the main thing that happens every day, this is an everyday thing, is when I turn my PC on, or if I put my PC in sleep mode, or if I just, even if I turn it off, it doesn't matter. If I turn it off, I restart it. When I, oh, speaking of that, you need to make sure that your IQ software automatically opens up when you turn your PC back on, just in case you forget. Because if that software is not on, your controller will not work right. It has to be on in the background. Sucks, but it has to be. Especially if you're especially if you're doing mappings, you because it doesn't save to it doesn't save onto the controller. So you have to have the software running in the background. But anyway, I did an overclock on it, and they say that, from everywhere I've read, says that it's got it has a fixed clock, so you can't overclock it. But I tried it anyway, and then my thing still says 1,000. So I don't care if it's not overclocked. It isn't. If it is, it is. But I overclocked it, and then I went into a game, and I couldn't play. Like, I can move around, blah blah blah, side to side, but I couldn't aim. I couldn't shoot. I don't even know if my face buttons worked. I can't remember. But I was like, what the fuck? I bricked it. I was like, no way, I just bricked this thing. I'm so mad. So I reset everything. If you take the faceplate off, there's a reset button in there. You just push a little, like a little safety pin in it, or a paper clip, and then hold it down for 30 seconds, I think, and then it'll reset everything. So I did that, and I got back on, and I went into and this is the thing too. I went into the software, and everything looked fine. I was getting, everything was working. Everything was working. And I went into the game, and I couldn't get it again. Nothing was working. So I was like, I bricked my controller. So I overclocked it, and it still didn't work. Come to find out, it was because every time I was closing out the software, it wasn't going into my taskbar, so it was closing out completely. So I had to make sure that when I close it out, and when I push X, it goes into my taskbar in the bottom right. Yeah, that was what the problem was. It wasn't even the overclock. So then I went back and I overclocked it anyway, and everything's working fine. Now, so every time you turn on your PC, you have to check and make sure that that is turned on. And then even if you turn your PC on from restart, and you have the setting that I just told you about, like to make sure that it turns on automatically, just go ahead and open it up, and just make sure that it's open, and then make sure that it's closed into the bottom right task bar. And then the other thing that always happens every day is, even if it doesn't close out the application, it turns the controller into an eco mode, and that means you don't see your lights on it, and you don't know. And if you have multiple profiles, then you're never gonna know what profile you're on. Oh, mother effer! Oh, I just saved myself. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Strand. All right, cool. So Strand saved me. But anyway, yeah. Every time you turn it on, the software puts the controller into an eco mode, and you don't get lights. Now, it doesn't mean that the controller doesn't work, but make sure I go into it every time I turn my computer on and turn off eco mode. And um, yeah, and I guess you could just remove all the profiles except for the one profile that you want. But I did that before, and um, and then I started getting this notification every time I turned on the game, the PC, or open up the software, saying there was a conflict in profiles, and to reset my profile. So I reset it, and then all my profiles came back, and and then I had to rebuild it. So, and I've come to find out that that's just an error. You don't need. You're gonna see it. It doesn't matter. So just exit out of it. Don't say save or reset or whatever it asks. I can't remember. If you get this controller, just exit out. So anyway, that's the biggest problem is the software. Just and it's not even that the software is a problem. It just has bugs. You know, it's like it still works. It just has bugs. They do tell you that you need to have it running. So it's not that they didn't do anything wrong. It just has bugs. It needs to be running in the background. You need to make sure that it's opening when when the PC turns on, things like that. So like I said, it doesn't. It's not. They didn't do anything wrong. It just the controller works. Just has the software. It's just the software issues sucks, and maybe that's a Corsair thing possibly. It might not even be a Scuf thing, but now the first me having to return it back because of the slow turn, that definitely probably is a Scuf thing, or it could be a Corsair thing too. Who knows? Whatever, right? But not a big deal. I got it fixed, no problem. So now the pros. Pros. Love the mouse clicks on the face buttons. Love the mouse clicks on the triggers. The thumbsticks feel great. They don't feel bad. They feel good. The tension's a little different. It is pretty tight. If you like tight tension, tight thumbstick tension, then you're fine. You can't change it, but it's not that big of a deal. I know on the Elite Series 2, on the Elite Series you can change your thumbstick tension, but I ended up putting it on max anyway. So, and if it is too tight, just get a Control Freak, and you don't need to get a large one, just a small one, and it'll feel like it's different just because it's longer. It's going to give you the tension's not going to feel as tight. So, that's what you can do to fix that if you have a problem with the tension. Damn it. So thumbstick feels good, faceplate feels good, or face buttons feel good, trigger feels good. Everything feels. I mean, the controller feels good. It's a really good feeling controller. The G1 buttons are good. You don't. Yeah, they work fine. I can like listen. You can hear me unmuting. And Discord. If I wanted to talk in chat, now on Destiny, I have to not move to do it. So you can see. Oh, see, it still thinks I'm on the game. It won't do it. If I move my mouse, now it'll do it. Nope, still won't do it. Destiny has an issue with the push to talk feature on here, but on like Call of Duty and in Fortnite, I have it set to the same mouse keyboard, or I'm sorry, keyboard click. So I just push it and I can unmute my mouse or unmute or push to talk, whatever one I have it set to. Like Call of Duty, I have it voice on, voice off. And I think on Fortnite, I have it on push to talk. I can't remember, but it does work. That button works on both of those games, so that's not a big deal. That's not a problem. It's just Destiny, and Destiny's because it's older. It's an older game. They don't have the settings that most newer games have now. Fortnite's also is an older game too, but they've updated their engine, and they are updating to match what we want now. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I digress. But the controller feels good. Now it does have 4 buttons on the back. 2 of them are on the outside. You cannot change, or you can't take them out. But the 2 in the middle you can take out. So if you play claw like I do, and they get in the way, they feel weird, you can take them off. So you can take those back off, and it feels fine. But the controller Or the buttons are different. They're not paddles. They're buttons. And if you do like paddles on the back and you play normal grip, obviously if you play normal grip, you probably want paddles on the back. Oh shit. Hold on. Um, if you play, yeah. But the way that they did this is kind of cool. So I've heard some people say they don't really like the way the paddles are, but um, oh, this guy's still here. I thought we killed that guy. Why did I think we killed him? I was wondering why we were still playing after we killed that other guy. Anywho, sorry, I'm again digressing. Digress. If you do like paddles, these paddles are cool. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll show you in YouTube. I'll take a picture of my controller and put it on the screen, and you'll see the paddles. But so it's cool the way they did it. I'll give them this. So you can put your middle finger on the back, and you can put it between the paddles and or the buttons, and so you can pull in to click your inner buttons, and then you can push your finger out and you can push the outer buttons. And some people don't like that. They say it kind of feels weird because you have to swipe up, and swipe in, swipe down. That's what they're saying. It feels like a swipe up and swipe down. But the way that they designed them, the inner buttons have a little like a little, not a ramp, but like a tip on them. So they have a I'll show you on the picture, but it goes up and then it comes out a little bit at the top. So actually, if you like using 4 fingers, you can actually use 4 fingers. So you would put your ring fingers on the inner ones, and then you would put your middle fingers on the tips or the top of the inner buttons, and you can actually click them like they're, if you like 4 separate paddles with 4 separate fingers, instead of having to use one finger. I think it was a great idea. I liked it because when I used, I believe I did have 4 paddles on my Xbox One when eventually I got a Scuf controller with paddles on it. I only used my middle fingers anyway, and I would use my right finger for both the right paddles and my left finger for both the left paddles. I didn't use 4 fingers. Now, granted, they were beside each other, so it'd be harder then anyway. But I like using 1 finger anyway. But if you like using 4, you can do that, and I'll show you on YouTube. But yeah, if you already have an Elite Series controller, I don't think that you should switch to this, unless it's just a preference thing that you want. Like I have preferences, then go ahead. If you have preferences, or even if you just want to just try it out and then send it back, do that. It is what it is. Check it out. It's a good controller. I'm just saying it's not as expensive as like a lot of other ones are, but I just don't see, if you already have a pro controller, I don't see the need to switch to this. There's no need to switch. It's not the best. If I wanted to get my money back, I don't think I can now. But I'm just saying, if I were to go from here and go back to the Elite Series controller or another controller that has everything that I wanted on it, even if it doesn't have the mouse clicks and shit like that, but it has trigger stops and membrane buttons are fine, I would be just fine. Yeah, I would be just fine. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm focusing. But I think that there's no need to get this. If you need a new controller and you're looking to get a new controller, this is a good controller to get. Yes. If you want to, it's like 180. So if you're cool with spending 180, then yeah, go ahead and get it. If you don't want to spend 180, but you can spend like 130, get the Elite. That I would. The Elite Series is the best pro controller out, and it's at a good price. And it comes with a case, 4 paddles, thick longer sticks, smaller sticks, different caps, dome caps, no dome, concave caps. Is that right? Dome and concave, yeah. Convex cap. I don't know. Dome and non-domed caps. It's magnetic, so you can swap them out easily. Your thumbsticks, thumbstick tension. I mean, I mean, it's a good ass controller for the price. Like, it's a good controller. You know what I mean? So, and I'll probably end up getting that controller, the new one, the Elite Series 3, when it comes out. So, but yeah, if you stuck all the way to the end, or even if you didn't stick to the end, but you skip through and you hear what I'm saying now, and you liked what I had to say, please subscribe and like. I'd appreciate that. Apparently they say it helps me out, so I'm gonna keep trying to do this, and if you like it, then I'm gonna keep doing it. And yeah, let me know. And if you don't like what I'm doing, let me know that too in the comments. Tell me something. I'd like to get to know y'all. My name's James. Been gone by success, and I'm going by toxic, and so now that was a joke. I changed everything because of a joke somebody had said to me. But and I liked it. I was like, I could still use the name like Sick that I like. Most people call me Sick, so anyway. But yeah, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna close the vid. But if you liked it, appreciate you coming by. Let me know what you think. What do you think I should do next? And thanks for coming by. Have a good one.